That's, we're talking a 1-year-old.
Never go back.
No, they never go back. Oh, Brenda, you got it done. Thanks.
Did
Thank
you
you.
check her? I didn't even see it.
Well, I just figured you had a ton to do today to get ready for this. And I didn't really expect it. That's why I said to you, I'll see you in 2 weeks.
How you doing, Trace?
Jamal.
How you doing?
Okay, I'd like to call the legislative committee meeting to order at 6:00 PM on Monday, July the 14th. Roll call. Grenier,
Here.
Lake,
Present.
Willard here. Citizens' comments. Anybody?
Well, looking at you.
I think that is a no.
No, thank you.
Okay, discussion and possible action on ordinance amendment regulating non-conforming uses, structures and lots. And I'm going to ask the our legal expert to kind of walk us through this.
Sure. So I know the premise of it was for, currently as the ordinance read, it had the 50% cap of assessed value on the structure that you could only remodel up towards that. Actually was amended into the statutes a little more than 10 years ago. So it's pretty much just an update. We didn't want any sort of.
Trace, would you put on your
Can you turn your
microphone,
mic on?
please?
For the recording.
There you go. Thank you.
Sorry about that. And so we were looking to get it in conformance with the statute. Specifically, we didn't want a situation in which someone was going to remodel a non-conforming structure and the 50% rule was still in effect at that time. And so I know Hector had redlined it pretty much to almost take the wording from the statute amendment back from 2011 to kind of take those definitions of non-conforming use, development regulations and non-conforming structure, to put that into our ordinance and then remove any references to the 50% of the current assessed value from their striking out there. So that's kind of the major changes that will be in play here.
And this basically came about when we were looking at that property that we were considering was dilapidated.
Correct.
Yeah, I actually had a question regarding that. I know I'm aware of the drone-in situation, but Hector had said that there was a Balziger situation that also applied to this. I wasn't aware. Did he pull a permit or something?
Yes. Yeah.
And that, which property is that?
Good Hope Road.
He's up on Good Hope, almost to the town line.
Okay.
And does this ordinance change apply to all however each property is zoned, whether it's residential or commercial, or is it specific to one type of zoning?
It is not specific to a current type of zoning, so this would just apply. So if something was permitted back in the day to be commercial and it currently is now zoned residential, that non-conforming use, or if it's not applicable to a certain zoning setback or anything like that, it would have general applicability across the board.
And the original intent of having it less than 50% would be to force it to become conforming should modifications in excess of that 50%.
Yeah.
And so the benefit to us now in removing that is,
Not
we
getting
just need to
sued,
be, we
essentially.
just need to be in state.
Well, yeah, because originally the legislature back, in the nineties, whenever they put in effect, they wanted to weed out these non-conforming things by saying you only can remodel up to 50% of the assessed value, so you're not pretty much redoing the Taj Mahal with it again. But they have since, obviously going back a few years has changed that tune, and so the purpose of this is, if someone does want to now remodel a non-conforming, and, we're going based off of our old ordinance, we would have to deny it, but then there could be essentially a constitutional challenge saying that it doesn't conform to the state statute, so we're just trying to get in compliance with that.
Okay. Thank you.
So this allows the property owner to spend a carte blanche on whatever he wants or she wants to spend to get the property in accordance with our regulations.
Monetarily wise, yes, they would still have to go through the plan commission and all of that process, but it at least opens the door for them to remodel or redo non-conforming uses as long as they're not expanding the current footprint of it. So.
Okay,
All right. Well, thank you for explaining that. I would forward a motion to accept the modifications as presented by legal counsel for the ordinance amendment regulating non-conforming uses, structures, and lots. Do we need to read this into record?
I don't think you need to read the full amount as long as you just adopt the
Underlined and overstricken
correct,
text.
the correct, and then we can just attach that to the minutes so if people wanted to see it, yeah.
Okay, so moved an ordinance amending section 78-53 of the Village of Lannon Code of Ordinances, defining and regulating non-conforming uses, structures, and lots as presented by legal counsel in its underlined and overstricken version.
I will second that.
okay, it's been a motion and second, all in favor?
I,
Aye. Okay, it's been forwarded unanimously, so does anybody have any other items they wish to address at this time?
Any other discussion, Jerry?
I guess the only other discussion that I would have afterwards is, and Trace, maybe, I don't even know if this applies for you, Trace, but we have, homes that are just not, I mean, they're really dilapidated and have been told, oh, we're gonna get this taken care of. We have such and such, coming in or whatever, and they're not on Main Street. And is there any way, would they be considered non-conforming?
No.
I wouldn't think so.
No, it's just, they would be violating potentially a different ordinance.
Okay,
And that's, I know you guys have the discussion later coming up about the municipal code enforcement.
that's it.
So that's part of their purview, if it, that's. I know that President Yates, myself and Hector back in the day had looked into potentially. Enforcing a lot more provisions, bringing municipal court actions against people if you wanted to. Help rectify that, but that's typically something that the board would have to take up, whether or not. There's a blighted property or someone that's non-conformance, whether or not you want our office to prosecute those individuals or not. So that would be separate from
That's
technically a non-conforming use.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification.
Of course.
That would be it. The
Okay,
question I have.
well, I will make a motion to adjourn the legislative committee.
And I will second.
All in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.
Okay.